how about that lazy label? This takes us straight to their relationship with work. And let's be clear, it is not a rejection of hard work. It's a deep resistance to the whole hustle culture idea, especially when it's for a system that doesn't seem to offer any meaning, growth, or security back.
This quote just cuts right to the heart of it. Gen Z watched older folks go through burnout, layoffs, and a whole lot of broken promises. So they're asking a pretty logical question. Why would I sacrifice my well-being for a system that's proven it won't protect me when things get tough?
And this distinction is so important. They aren't rejecting work itself. What they're rejecting is performative productivity. Being busy just for the sake of looking busy. They have a very low tolerance for that. They want their time and energy to actually lead to something tangible, whether that's growth, meaning, or at the very least, stability.
Now, this search for meaning and identity, it doesn't just happen offline. It is deeply, deeply woven into their digital lives. You see, for Gen Z, the internet was never some escape from the real world. From a psychological standpoint, it was a core part of their developmental environment.
And you can see this whole process unfold online. First, they experiment with their identity, trying on different personas and values to see what fits. Then they build communities, finding and connecting with other people who just get them. And finally, and this part is key, they define who they are while being constantly observed by others. That creates this unique mix of really strong self-expression and intense self-awareness.
So when you put all these pieces together, the hyper-awareness, the radical honesty, the search for purpose, a really clear picture starts to emerge. None of these traits are random. They are the direct psychological result of growing up in a world where instability felt like the only normal.
And this has led to a phenomenon that some psychologists are now calling early emotional burnout. It's that feeling of being totally exhausted before your adult life is even really kicked off. And it comes from having a nervous system that never, ever felt safe enough to truly stand down and just relax.
I mean, these pressures that shape them are very, very real. They grew up in the shadow of economic recessions, with climate change as a constant hum in the background, watching society feel more and more fragmented. And all of it was amplified by being digitally connected 24/7. Their psychology just adapted accordingly.
And this brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. This generation is not broken. They are calibrated. Calibrated for a world that's unstable, a world that's hyperexposed, and a world that is relentlessly fast. Their values, their behaviors, it's all a sophisticated response to that exact reality.
So this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. What are the consequences for all of us, for our whole society, when an entire generation, shaped by all these forces, takes a good long look at the way things are?
And is the first one to have the language and the platform to say, this isn't working, out loud? Maybe the most misunderstood generation isn't a problem that we need to solve. Maybe they're the signal that we can't afford to ignore.